Hi, you guys. I feel like I need to take a breath. I've been running around and yeah. Um, I've been drawing oracle cards lately as a sort of jumping off point, and it seems to be working, at least for now. I feel like I'm in the groove of that. And I hope it works for you guys too. Let me know in the comments section. And, it's always useful to get comments, feedback, whether it's about the story that we're telling or a technical stuff. The lighting sucks, and there's stuff that I know, but nevertheless, it helps to keep hearing. So feel free to comment about anything. Great to have the feedback. I drew 3 today, and one of them was the one that really hit home. The other 2, just very briefly, were the card Yang, which is the masculine principle of action taking. That always bugs me a little bit because, it's like I bristle a little bit. What? The feminine doesn't take action? A different kind of action, a complementary action. And it is yin yang. It is the 2 sides of the whole that is internal. And as it gets balanced internally, you find relationships that are more balanced that way. Where you're not, radically leaning one way or the other into passivity or into aggression. Those being the extremes. Everything's on a spectrum, right? The next one was TikTok, all about divine timing. And the takeaway message from this card was basically, you have the time you need. There's, you may sense that things aren't moving fast enough, that you're not manifesting quickly. And I certainly do. And the message here was just, you have the time you need to do what you need to do in this lifetime. Divine timing will give you the time. So your TikTok is kind of the self-imposed, culturally imposed a sense of linear time. And once you let go of linear time, it becomes a whole different, cyclical time is a wholly different thing. That's a very feminine principle. But the one that hit home for me was Unfinished Symphony. Which basically said, look for the resolution, write the letter, make the phone call, do what you need to do for closure, so that you can get on to the next thing, because it will hang you up not to have closure. And I sort of thought, yeah, that's as a principle, that sounds great. But then I started thinking about it with some of the, bug bites, some of the most important relationships that I didn't get closure with. And it's with people who are still alive. It does, you can have non-closure with people who've passed over, and it's still really important to write that letter, make that phone call, do whatever it is to get the sense of completion. But hot on the heels of saying, oh yeah, I'm down with that, that makes sense, part of me said, oh no, not me. I'm not going to make the phone call. I'm not writing the letter. I did that. That was the trouble all along, was I was the one reaching out or doing the thing. It felt that way anyway. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do that again, be the first to be vulnerable and extend in a situation where I've done it again and again. And ultimately, every few years felt really rebuffed. But I think that that's important for me to know, that part of me says, oh yes, I'd love closure. I'd love that final communication. I've been waiting all this time for the mofo to actually open up and talk to me. And I realized I don't really want closure. Couple of reasons. Terrifying to actually get back into another dialogue. Because some of the things I'd have to say are not comfortable, and I'm sure same from the other person. So there's that. And then also there's that sense of if there's no closure, there's still an ongoing relationship, even if it's one that's very unsatisfying about how it ended. I can hang on to that, and that to get closure really means to go on to the next thing. And a part of me just doesn't want to do that. It's like dragging your cannonball around with you, because you kind of love it. It still attaches you to something. And I think what I'm realizing is it doesn't attach me to the person. Who knows what comes of that? Seems like there's been a detachment, but I'm still attached to the absence of that person or whatever it is. And there's really a rebellion against letting it go completely. Somebody hands you a file, you could actually get out of that ball and chain. I've kind of come to love that in a kind of perverse, I hate it, but obviously a part of me doesn't want to do that last snip. Even though the thing is already severed. So that's where we're starting. With the backup of the yang energy, take action, and of the TikTok thing of divine timing. Seem contradictory to me. Yeah, do it. And the other one says, it doesn't matter because there will always be time. It's divine timing. Yang is, I don't know if the yang energy in its healthiest probably knows when to act. I'm feeling pretty yin these days. Or a balance of the two. Hopefully a balance of the two. Let's see what we got. Oh my goodness, what a way to start. 10 of Cups. That's just like magical mystery tour. That's just everything and more. With your person and your peeps. And your peeps. It's that extended love network. 10 of Cups. Water sign. Feelings. Connectivity. Love. Oh my God. 4 of Wands. It's a coming together in joy and balance with somebody who's coming toward you. It's your 1111 card. It's kind of the twin flame card. Or just that close, joyful connection. Doesn't have to be male, female. 2 women are depicted on the card. Could be a same-sex relationship. Or it could be like the sisterhood. But both speak to just joy in connection. Joy in connection. The Hermit. And this is sort of joy in yourself. It's a card of being removed from the situation and kind of the hermit energy of going to the mountaintop or going into the desert to experience spirit sort of in its raw form where it meets you and you meet it. And you're outside of the concerns of sort of the connections that appear in daily life. It's an interesting because both these cards on the table are cards of daily life, minor arcana in connection. The major arcana card is you in connection with spirit, with your inner self, with your core being, with the light. And it's a card of Virgo, and I always see it ultimately as a card of connectivity, because if you don't have that connection with the bigger thing, it's very hard, nay impossible, to do this. for this or this, everybody in the network, be it the partner or the family, need to be in that place, tapped into their own core, Because really, when we're tapped into our own core, we're tapped into each other's. You know, there's that common wellspring, cups energy, that we share. So there are 2 cards of sharing and 1 card of, whoa, the mountaintop. High Priestess. A major arcana card of connection to spirit. And this one, her crown chakra is wide open, and heart and all the others as well. For the crown to be open, everything else has to be aligned too. From the ground up, right? But this is like a 2-way, the connection goes 2 ways. It's co-creation, which in fact was at the bottom of the deck of the oracle cards, was a card of co-creation. You know, when you're tapped in like this, you can then bring it back into the world. This is a card of knowing but not speaking. And this is sort of 2. And it's hard to sort of describe how they're removed but completely tapped in at the same time. And I like the detail on this. I don't know if you can see it, but her eyes are shut and right through the eyelids are open eyes. It's about inner vision. I believe it's a mixture of water sign. It's moon energy. You know, I believe it's sort of a card of divine feminine to my mind. Not out there pounding away at worldly things. Tapped in. Page of Pentacles. It's a page, it's a young energy. It's tentative. And I just noticed her feet, you'd think she'd be grounded. Her feet aren't quite on the ground. She's floating a little bit, which is sort of nice because pentacles can be weighty. They can be time and effort and, you know, they can be a heavy energy. They're not here. Even though the pentacle she's holding is big, the opportunity is big for growth. But it's not weighing her down. Her, him, they, them. It's a proposition. You know, because I always see it as like, I want to share this thing. I don't have oh, here we go. I just want to see her expression because it looks to be, it doesn't look like she's sure of whether this offer will be taken up. It looks tentative. And pages are tentative in that they're a youthful energy. They're not a full bore. They're not a 10 of Pentacles or a king or a queen or even a knight. They're young. This I get almost a shyness. Tell us about this page. And it might be somebody who's enormously tapped in spiritually, but is kind of tentative, almost like a new incarnation of something young. tapped into spirit, but tentative in the physical world. Tell us about the page. What say you, page? What's the proposal? Spirit. Tell us. Okay. Okay. Interesting. First card out was Three of Swords. A card of heartbreak. You know, and the memory of heartbreak. I always say that because it's sword energy. It's to do with the mind. And I just see it as like a memory of the pain, that when you remember it, you re-injure yourself because something hasn't healed. There wasn't a closure. And maybe that's in relation to what we were talking about. This is an attempt at a very tentative young attempt, perhaps, at closure on the 3D level. You know, not how we are when we connect with the divine or with each other in the sort of 5D realm of telepathy, and it's where the rubber meets the road, in that sense, Pentacles. So on Three of Swords, what came out with it was Knight of Wands, which is kind of amazing because this is life force. This is the wild return of energy. You know, she's beating the drums, she's holding the wand, and in the background there's sort of the rearing horse. Knights are messengers. It's like through the drum beat, through the hoof beats, back to life, back into your fire energy, that creativity, that co-creativity we were talking about. And very often that creative energy comes out of pain. You know, we don't sing the blues for nothing. And it's a very enduring art form that has form. I always like that about the blues. It's very structured. A, A, B, B, C, or whatever. The first line's repeated. The second line sort of develops it, and the third line is closure. She's singing the blues. She's singing the blues. So maybe the message ultimately that this Knight of Wands is carrying is, I'm still here. Look at me. I'm alive. I'm wild. I'm riding, in this case, I think, away from Three of Swords energy. It's sort of like, look at me now. Tell us about High Priestess with this direct line to the overeye, the one who knows, the one who remembers. Man, have we been getting her a lot or what? He, she, they, out in the cold, desolate. You know, that goes quite nicely with Three of Swords. And this really might be an attempt at closure. Something went wrong. You know, Five of Pentacles left out in the cold. Three of Swords, heartbreak. So how do we get to this absolutely exalted place of Ten of Cups, Four of Wands, Hermit? What's the wisdom, please? Wow. Whoa. Hang on. Yeah. Judgment. You know, it's like, it's a card of karma, of releasing old stuff, and by doing that, being able to rise up again into a new life. it's very much a kind of a closing out of a cycle so that the thing can rise. So the hermit wisdom is, you know, there's a whole, the release is basically, in a nutshell. Release any anger, release yourself by releasing, it's a closure. It's the life returning when there's closure. You know? You know, you've got to go through it to get out the other side, and that's such a cliche, but it is the formula. And I think, I mean, closure allows us to release, so it's really a gift. It feels scary to me, you know, to really attain that full circle, I'll move to the next thing. Because a part of me almost prefers this. At least I know somebody's behind the door. I still have a relationship because it's to somebody who's no longer there and the door is shut on me. But here I am. It's a weird state of mind to be in, and this would indicate it's a long time. Could have been 5 years. Tell me about the 10 of Cups, because that, like, what's the way in everyday life? Interesting. 4 of Pentacles. It might be hang on to what you've got. Or it might be hold back investing your energy anymore into something that's 5 of Pentacles done. But it might be kind of resisting, because it's a card of blockage and resistance often. Being blocked against the possibility of your own happiness. For just the reason I was saying, you know, it's really hard to get the closure. 10s are also closure in a sense. You know, 1 through 9, and then you get to 10, it's a completion. Doesn't mean it's over, but it's a cycle has been completed. And we've got 4 of Pentacles and 4 of Wands, completely different energies. Holding back, letting loose. Letting loose in joy. Holding back in fear, in a self-protective way. Protecting your pentacles. You know, what's of value to you and not wanting it taken away. Let's see about 4 of Wands, please. Oh my goodness, sorry. They really jump when they jump. Ooh. Got it. Wow. Well, here's that yang energy that came out of the beginning, Emperor. Divine masculine energy. The ability to take control. To rule whatever is your realm, whatever is within your reach. You know, with as a benevolent leader. You know, this guy isn't around kicking ass. He holds the chess piece, the king. And it's all the kings wrapped into one, but it's Aries. And there's that horned figure on the wall. So that would imply, remember I said she's sort of divine feminine energy. The one who's receptive to, through her crown chakra, to source energy. Two of Pentacles. That can be a weighing up, a need to make a decision, and perhaps the inability to do it. So somebody's stuck in this mode of consideration. Is it this way? Is it that way? Is it this thing? Is it that thing? There's a choice. It's also a card of balance, you know? Like this Emperor may have in themselves a strong feminine energy too. Because neither Emperor nor Empress is, they're both balanced in their masculine, feminine energies. Because you don't get to Empress or Emperor status if you're out of balance. So it's that, yeah, Six of Wands. A card of being acknowledged, of victory, in the same energy as Emperor, which is fire. You know, being seen, being acknowledged. Emperor and all the fire signs don't really have a problem with being seen. They need to be seen to a degree. And don't we all? You know, if you feel unseen, I mean, this is unseen. So Aries, Leo, Sag are the fire sign energies, and this is Aries. The Emperor is, I think, proud of that he's come into balance. I want one on this Four of Pentacles that, okay. Ten of Pentacles. You know, Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. There is a cycle ending that will have a new beginning, hot on the heels. This card speaks to family, tradition, the village, the group of people who are present with each other and real and support each other. I still don't know why they would be that holding back. Perhaps because of the Three of Swords. So let's clarify Three of Swords. Like, what was the injury? What was the shape? Seven of Swords. This is a card of a liar. Of somebody who false front. And who snuck away. You know, leaving a path of destruction, crow feathers and the crow body stuffed in his knapsack. It's not a good energy in this card. The only positive way to read it is extricating yourself by any means. But I think, I mean, Three of Swords, Seven of Swords, somebody was a no-good Nick. Somebody really screwed up. And this can be a card of the player, of somebody who's in and out and all about themselves. Can be. Who doesn't stick around, who's in and out, and who leaves in a dishonorable way. Why the deception? You know, what was the motivation of this person to make such epic mistakes? Oh, that makes even less sense. We have two cards of balance. The yin-yang of lovers, card of Gemini, and temperance, balance, blend, divine timing, like we were talking about before. You have all the time in the world. The divine won't cut you off prematurely. There's something about the way things are unfolding that may feel sucky, feel like Three of Swords. But it's sort of being overseen by an angelic presence that like has your back right behind this guy. And he has those two spheres in balance like unto this Two of Pentacles. Divine timing in, you know, the realm of the divine and in the realm of the 3D. And that's clarifying. 5 of Pentacles. I think part of it is sometimes, I mean, this is a sneak away from Hermit. It's an earth sign. It's earth energy, Pentacles. Hermit is Virgo. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus being the earth signs. And you know, when you're out there in the cold, it can become, where's Hermit? Here we go. It can become the jumping off point for tapping into your own internal teacher. You're removing yourself in order to become enlightened. And it works. You know, there is a second chance. A card of divine timing and of the match, yin yang. And it can be internal. Once it's internal, it can appear externally. These two things in kind of a perfect accord. And I think that's, you know, if you're out in the cold, but you're able to activate this connection to your higher power, to the higher power, you experience sort of a hermit-like, I'm in isolation, but I'm connected more than ever. I don't know, I had this during COVID, an experience like that, in isolation, by myself a lot of the time. And it like opened this channel up. I've been doing tarot for years, but you know, when I was by myself all the time, I was suddenly not by myself. You know, it really was a trip to the mountaintop. Circumstance kind of peeled everything away. And it was horrendous. I'm not trying to soft pedal what COVID was. But in the isolation, it almost killed me. It really did. I mean, it was this. But something in that, when everything else quieted down, hermit energy and high priestess, not a talking energy, the channels get opened. And you're able to hear, like the music of the spheres. Ten of Cups. Lovers, Temperance, High Priestess, Judgment, Hermit, Emperor. I mean, this is a powerhouse reading. And I do think things are going to change in divine timing, Temperance. You know, because it's sort of like it's working out for you. If you feel desolate, it might start with something very small that signifies something big and bold and real that will bring you out of this contracted place into the place of community and support. And look at the bottom, which I always sort of dread to do because, well, it's going to be slow going. Slow but steady. you know, stuff in 3D tends not to be lickety-split. Like that lickety-split, where does that come from? But this is a step-by-step, I'll build it, I'll grow it, I'll move in a steady forward way in my daily life. And I do believe this is where it leads you, kind of like out of this energy of Four of Pentacles. I got to hang on to what I have. I don't have enough. Somebody's going to take it away. And this is the ideal kind of where Pentacles can lead into a supportive, real group of people who are authentically there for each other. And that's what you're growing. It takes a lot of time, but also, however long it takes, it's in divine timing. You'll come into this union. That's what the cards say. You know, I'm just a messenger. I'll take it though. You know, I'll like own this reading. Till next time, be well.